Most D2C brands completely miss the mark with email. Their email strategy is like a TV ad, generic and highly impersonable, and they miss out on revenue because of this. The ones who crush it though are using email personalization. But personalization isn't just, hey, insert first name here. In this video, I'll share tips on how you can create personalized emails that increase engagement, drive more revenue, and leave your competitors in the dust. Now, if you're new to the channel, my name is Derek and I'm the founder of Ascend Media, where we help 7- and 8-figure D2C brands generate more profit and revenue with high converting emails in Klaviyo, kind of like this. So let's dive in. Okay, so the very first thing we're gonna run through today is personalization tags. So the first kind of 4 essential tags that I'd recommend using is just the first one being first name, last name. So first name, last name is honestly a little bit overrated in my opinion. A lot of people tend to overuse and abuse it and use it in subject lines and use it in like the first sentence of an email. Oftentimes, if you abuse it that much, it just won't have as much of an impact. And I think a lot of people overuse it. Now, beyond that though, using tags like last product purchased or total amount spent or the number of orders people have made can have a profound impact on personalization. The reason for this is because if, for example, someone just bought a product and you have a product spotlight that's going out, you probably don't want the people who have just bought that product or people who have bought that product 3 or 4 times to receive that product spotlight because they get it. They know they want the product. They know they have the product. They know they like it. Or if they bought it and they haven't purchased it again, they know they don't like it. So either way there, it's redundant to be sending that to people who've already purchased. Using these essential tags can just kind of start to elevate your personalization a little bit more. But if you really want to take things to the next level, start using these advanced tags. So using custom properties, and usually we'll gather these custom properties from either pop-ups or surveys or something along those lines. And what we're trying to do here is understand a little bit more about the consumer from their own words. So understanding their desired outcomes, understanding their product preferences, right? So desired outcomes, for example, might be one of our clients has an organic soup company. And what we want to understand is, why are people buying this soup in the first place? Well, we created a survey in the pop-up, and what we found was that about 90% of people were buying the soup because they wanted to improve their gut health. Now, what we did with that data, based off of that, was we took that data and said, all right, now let's start to create curated email flows, curated email campaigns, specifically talking about gut health and how this product is the solution to their problem. So this is how they can achieve their desired outcome. Now, the same thing goes for if you're selling like men's clothing, women's clothing, and skincare, for example. You might want to ask about their product preferences. Like, are you interested in men's clothing or women's clothing? Super simple, but it'll have a very meaningful impact on results. Now, in terms of how you actually implement these product tags, basically all you need to do is go in here. You can go right into the email here and you can click personalize. So you can personalize, like add the first name. So you could be like, hey, and then if you want to add this in, you could be like first name, and then this default text is going to show up if there is no first name available. You then just click insert, and now you have, hey, Derek, or hey, insert first name, right? Or insert first name here, or it'll default to there. So like, hey there. You can also add in all of these other different personalization things here. So whether it's location, whether it's city, you can also add in your own custom personalized tags. And this is where you can really start to build a much more personalized system here. Okay, so the next piece is dynamic content blocks. Now, dynamic content blocks can be helpful in a number of different ways, but there's 3 levels to using them. The first is just leveraging recently viewed products or products that people have recently added to cart. Now, this is the easiest thing to do, and all you need to do here is just go into flows, go to create a flow, and then you need to go to find the flow that you want, right? So for example, abandoned cart reminder. All right, we're going to select this one. It's going to select the trigger already. So the trigger here is started checkout, and then we're going to name this whatever we want to name it, and we duplicate it out, and it's going to automatically create the dynamic field that we want to create. So we don't even have to go ahead and do it. So I'll just dive in here and show you. But if we go in here, click edit, you'll see the dynamic field here. And then you always want to preview these because sometimes they can come across as a little funky. So you can see here, yeah, we got the dynamic field here and it populated perfectly. So we're all good on that front. And level 2 is personalized collections based off of best-selling products, based off of most viewed products, based off of certain product categories. And if you take that one step further, you hit level 3, which is recommended products. So it's recently viewed, recently added to cart. And you can also leverage AI here for basically products that people might also like based off of your specific store. So I'll show you exactly how to do that here too. You basically need to go into products. You want to go into the product feed, and then you want to create a product feed here. What you're going to want to do is click on this, and we'll call this test for YouTube. And we're going to say we want WooCommerce default. And then this is where you can select which products you want customers to view first. So this is going to create a dynamic product feed. You're going to say, hey, we want best-selling products, etc. And then this is the AI feature that I mentioned, product customer might also like. So I'm going to just say products a customer may also like based off of purchase history. And then if a customer doesn't have a lot of history, then what should they view instead? We're going to go with both best selling and most viewed over the last 90 days, right? And then show products where category includes. We're just going to say all categories. And you can, again, you can exclude certain categories, include certain categories. So I'm just going to say, and you can't have spaces here. I forgot about that. Test YouTube. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and create a campaign here, and I'll show you how to do that. You basically just want to go in and add a section. And then what we're going to do is add a product. And we're going to choose a dynamic product collection, and we're going to use this test feed that we just created. And then you can go ahead and customize this specific feed. So you can change the amount of rows you have or columns that you have. You can change the amount of rows. You can change the height. You can obviously make sure that this is actually designed for your brand. So the third thing we're going to talk about is the behavioral flows. Now, behavioral flows are basically just triggered by a certain action, or you guessed it, a behavior. Browse abandonment, abandoned cart, abandoned checkout, post-purchase. These are all opportunities where you can better personalize your experience based off of, for example, with the browse abandonment, based off of the product, based off of the timing. Again, if we go back to the pop-up, if we're collecting zero-party data and they're looking at a certain product and they want to solve a certain pain point, let's make sure that, hey, here's how this product solves this pain point, right? So we're personalizing that content either using that or using dynamic blocks. The abandoned cart or abandoned checkout, same type of deal here. You can also incorporate some dynamic discounts or social proof for certain products or certain categories as well. And then post-purchase. There's a ton of opportunity post-purchase, but cross-sell opportunities, review requests, replenishment reminders, etc. You can really customize this and make it so that it's really not a one-to-many communication, but it's way, way, way more personalized. And the fourth thing is smart segmentation. Now, there's a whole video on segmentation. It's a long one, but it is one of the most valuable videos I have ever created. So if you haven't watched that yet, go ahead and watch that video. But the first thing we'll start with is just engagement-based segments. So these are people who have been active or engaged in the last 30, 60, or 90 days. You can also create engagement segments based off of email engagement patterns. So if they've opened or clicked 2 or 3 times, or if they've clicked on this certain CTA a number of times, or if they've clicked on certain emails that contain XYZ product, that's how we can customize that a little bit further. And same with website activity, right? You can say like people who have added to cart X amount of times or viewed a product X amount of times, etc. The second would be purchase-based segments. So these are the VIPs, the high value customers, the first time buyers, at-risk customers. So people who haven't purchased in a while, which is like the lapsed customers as well. There's a lot of different purchase-based segments that you can create, but those are 4 that I definitely recommend creating. And the third piece is interest-based segments. So interest-based segments meaning like, hey, if someone has viewed a certain category a bunch, or if they've browsed a certain product or a certain group of products a bunch, let's hit them up with that product and let's tell them why that product is the best for them. You can also group people based off of survey responses. This is another really, really cool one that almost no brands do. Now, in order to create a segment, it's pretty straightforward. You just go ahead, go into create new, create segment, and then you can really kind of filter this based off of what you want. So if I want to create a segment of 30-day engaged, I might go in and say, okay, they've opened an email at least once in the last 30 days, or they have clicked an email at least once in the last 30 days. And then I'll usually add, we'll usually add some other filters in here too. So maybe they can receive email marketing. And then if you want to get a little bit more refined because they are actually subscribed, that'll reduce the size of that segment as well. So a couple different ways we can kind of go about building that segment. So that's how you build out the segment in Klaviyo. It's very, very straightforward. Okay, so the next section here is really, really cool. And it's all about advanced automations that you can leverage. The first thing I'm going to talk about is cross-sell strategies, and this is such a missed opportunity for almost all the brands we look at. Complementary products is an opportunity here, category expansions, bundling opportunities, but complementary products, if we look at that kind of field, if you don't have a product that people are going to buy again and again and again or continue to use, you don't have a consumable product, let's say you sell like couches, adding in complementary products can go a really long way to increase your AOV and increase your LTV, right? If you just sell them one thing, chances are they might not come back, right? More likely than not, they won't come back. But if you sell them something else, maybe it's something else that does require more consumption. Fantastic. Next is behavioral triggers. So looking at time on site, looking at the amount of page views someone has had, or looking at just product interactions overall. And the last one is geographic personalization. So if you look at like local holidays or local events, or based off of certain weather or based off of certain store locations, if you want to customize based off of your POS store, or if you want to customize based off of a certain location and have a sale or have a promotion just for that location, have at her. This is a really great opportunity to personalize as well. Anyways, now you know how to personalize your emails effectively, but that's just a start. Now, if you do have a D2C brand doing at least $50,000 a month and you don't want to do this all yourself and you want a personalized system for your business, my agency will take over your entire email and SMS system so you can focus on the bigger picture things. Now, there's a link to book in a call just below this video if you're interested. And once you've done that, be sure to watch the next video where I'll break down and share the best ways to segment on Klaviyo.